Hello, my name is Cindy Matalucci, and you're watching The Pulse, where we get the 411 on all the latest and greatest things to do in this amazing city, San Diego. From the newest bars and restaurants to the chicest boutiques, to the gyms and the trainers that are getting the people of this city buff 365 days a year, to the place you want to go to get your spa on. I'm exploring it all for you, and of course, having fun along the way. So come with me while we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego. This episode of The Pulse was brought to you by Windus Fernandez Brincourt from Trilogy Financial Services. For all your financial needs, Windus and her team have got you covered. On today's episode, we start our show in studio with our business loan experts, Jeff Thon and Joshua Felcher from Clear Skies Capital, to discuss their working capital loans and how they can meet their clients' current short-term obligations and opportunities. We then head out on location to Lonesome Rider Coffee in Parkway Plaza to check out their first storefront. At Clear Skies Capital, their team provides custom and holistic financing solutions for their customers that benefit their businesses for the long term, from commercial lines of credits to term business loans, equipment financing, AR factoring, and SBA funding. Clear Skies Capital has got you covered. Watch this. I have guest today, Jeff Thon, founder and president of Clear Skies Capital, and Josh Felcher, vice president of operations. How are you?
Good.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you guys on the show today. I think this is such a great topic. So Jeff, you are founder and president, and you oversee all aspects of the company's strategic direction and business goals.
Yes.
And then Josh, I know that you were managing end-to-end services for a $23 million annual portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. And now you're doing, heading everything up. It's VP of operations.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, before we kind of dive into the company, because I want to get into what you guys do, I want to talk about your stories because I think they're really inspiring. So I know for you, Jeff, you've been in the industry since 2004. How did that get started for you?
By a friend. I graduated college and had no idea what I wanted to do. I was working at Costco. I was a forklift driver. I was making $40,000 a year. I thought that was pretty cool. Until I saw one of my best friends started with that startup in our industry. And next thing I know, he's driving a Cadillac CTS at the age of 23 and wearing a couple Rolexes and just well off. And I was like, all right, well, I need to grow up and do something with my life. So I was like, you think I can do what you do? He's like, absolutely. You got a good personality and good work ethic and drive. It's all, give it a shot. What do you got to lose? I'm like, okay. So I made the jump in 2004. I started for a startup company. Actually, not at that time. They were maybe 4 or 5 years into it. I was your standard account executive in a cubicle, making 300 to 400, 500 calls a day, cold calling. We started getting marketing, but I did that for 5 years, 9 months, and then I experienced my first crash in the economy, the mortgage crash in 2008. So I went through that. 2009 came around. September, I was let go, unfortunately, and took some time off and started with another organization here in San Diego, and I ran their sales department, managed roughly around 15 to 20 account executives. I began to learn the back end of the process. So my first 5 years, 9 months was front end, learned the back end with this second organization. The relationships, where the money comes from, kind of how to run a business. I learned that back end part, and then I, about the last year, I started getting the itch, the motivation. I was like, well, I want to do this myself. And as I said, I have grandparents, entrepreneurs, ran businesses. So 2014, I made the jump. I resigned, started this Clear Skies Capital, July of 2014, and here we are 8 years later.
Well, and congratulations on 19 years in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. I just love that. I love those inspirational stories because people don't know how you get to where you are, and it's not an easy path. So I love I love seeing this and hearing your story.
Definitely not an easy path. I'm your typical startup too. When I started, I was in an executive suite, 175 square foot, just me and my dog. Still cold calling, being a business owner. Then I grew, worked on my marketing, and I'm on my third location with 7, 8 employees, doubled our space, doubled our personnel, and here I am, yes.
Amazing. And then Josh, I want to talk about your background too, because you were in the corporate world. So you kind of started with Merrill Lynch, right?
Yeah.
And then kind of moved your way into a small business, community style place to work. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I started with Merrill Lynch back in 2016. It was actually an internship while I was in college, and they offered me full-time right afterwards. So I was working under a big investment banker. He was managing billions of dollars for huge companies. So I got my feet wet in the finance world. Felt a little bit like a cog in the machine. Didn't like that they didn't even know my name after 6 months, kind of thing. So I knew I wanted to stay in finance. So I started looking for smaller companies, maybe in different areas instead of investing, and I found Clear Skies. Started in sales and kind of worked my way up into operations, and here we are.
I love that. That's so exciting. So, okay, so I want to talk a little bit about Clear Skies. So for the viewers that don't know what you guys do, give us a little synopsis of what you do.
We provide financial services, to keep it simple, in the secondary market. We provide capital is the main thing, working capital. We can do that in a couple different sources. One being a revolving commercial business line of credit. We can do that in a term loan. We can do that in an SBA format as well, more of a hybrid SBA. And we also specialize in equipment financing. Basically, we are fintech. We can do things much quicker, less paperwork, and a much higher approval percentage.
Okay, great. And so what types of industries or clients would you say are a good fit for you guys? Or have you worked with?
What do you think?
I would say the main maybe 5 that we work with are construction, restaurants, cannabis industry is booming right now. That's a new one we get to work with. Medical is also very big for us. And then I would say manufacturing is our other big one.
Perfect. Well, and I like that you said if you have an EIN number and a business checking account, you can take a look at something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's basically EIN number, business checking account, and then we can start the conversation and we can go from there. If we are unable to help you, we always give guidance on where to start, how to build, and go from there.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then I want to talk about working capital. This is a question that I get asked a lot from people that are on the show, or they're talking about this a lot. You know, they want to get funding for their business. They've got things that they need to do. So can you explain what a working capital loan is?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so a working capital loan is just basically cash for your business. It doesn't really matter how you use it. It doesn't matter what you're necessarily planning for it. Our job is to get you the cash you need to expand or do the plan you had or hire more employees. So that's basically what a working capital loan is, just cash for whatever you need for business.
And then would you explain how this is different than a traditional small business loan?
Yes, so it's a great question. Very different, very similar but different, meaning the process is different. Traditional banking, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, etc., they have a very lower, in our opinion, approval percentage. Roughly, last time I checked, it was like 16%, where we are more of a 70 to 92% approval ratio.
Wow.
We work with all types of credit scores, industries, time in business. A lot of this plays a factor in the approval, but there's many other things too where we don't require collateral. I think that's the biggest part right there.
I saw that. That's crazy. That's amazing. Because that's hard for people to come up with collateral. That's a big thing.
Not everyone has collateral.
Right.
Yeah, especially a younger company. You've been in business for 1, 2, 3 years. You have no commercial credit. Banks are big on history, commercial credit. They want to see home ownership or some sort of collateral. They want something to fall back on. That's the reason why our process is much quicker. We only need a one-page application, typically only 3 months of bank statements. From start to finish, probably 48 hours. We can have a working capital term loan in your bank account or a line of credit open.
Wow. Okay. So I know I was going to ask you about that. So how much can a business borrow, would you say, with this kind of loan?
Josh?
So it all depends on the business. So there's a lot of factors that go into it, whether it's revenue, time in business, what the industry they are in. But we are a more revenue-driven product. So usually the more money your company makes, the more money we can get you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So qualifying then, basically you have to be in business for at least like 6 months, or there's specific qualifications. You have to have a certain amount of money in the bank, and then possibly a certain credit score.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to see proof of concept already operating, right? Everyone has an idea. Entrepreneurs wake up, they have ideas, but like you said, 6 months time in business. We want to see deposits, money going into the business checking account. We obviously take a look at the industry and how long they've been in business, but those are the 3-4 main factors. There are other smaller factors that go into it, but those are the driving factors right there.
Okay, and then you and I were talking about this earlier. So when should a company consider taking out a working capital loan? And you told me there was 2 main reasons, right?
Yes.
So we talked about opportunity and the oops, which I loved.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 main reasons, right? Opportunity. Easy examples are expansion, another location, equipment, right? People have higher demand. They need personnel or equipment to keep up with the demand. Inventory, good opportunity needs right there. Oopsies is like, for example, let's take a restaurant operational, doing great. Next thing you know, the business owner walks in one day on a Monday and their walk-in cooler's not working. And they got $80,000 worth of product in there. Obviously, everyone's gonna have insurance. Insurance doesn't happen overnight. They can't just let $80,000 worth of produce, meat, desserts sit there, so they're gonna go bad. So they come to us for a bridge loan. That's really kind of our niche, is bridge funding, short-term bridge funding between 6 months to 36 months to help bridge that gap on that oops until the insurance or whatever comes into play down the road.
Wow, so that's bridge funding. I love that. And so you guys kind of specialize in that, so short-term or long-term.
Yeah, we do both, yeah.
Perfect. And then let's give people an example of what they can use this for. I know you kind of just did saying, like, if you have a second location, right? And you're going to open a second location, but like, is it payroll? Are there other things that businesses would be using this for?
Any business related item or expansion. It could be payroll, for example, right? You just landed a new contract. You need to hire more employees to help fulfill that contract. So employees, equipment, relocation, build outs. A lot of people been at a restaurant for 20 years and they needed a new face, right? Build out. The possibilities or the needs for capital that we get from our business owners are endless. Anything business related, to keep it simple.
And then we had a question, I think you kind of answered this, but when it comes to credit score, people think they have to have perfect credit score, but you don't have to.
No.
Absolutely not, Josh.
No. Yeah. So basically anything over 500 we can work with. We have high-risk programs, we have low-risk programs, we have challenged credit programs, we have excellent credit programs. It all we're trying to fit the product to you. We're not trying to fit you into our product.
I think that's a really good point. And then walk us through kind of what is the application process like? Because I know you guys make it very simple. You said 1-page application. So what's the process like?
Well, it's just simple, and depending on the request, sometimes it can be more in after the original application process. But to start, it's a one-page application. We use DocuSign, pretty easy. Do it anywhere, mobile, and 3 months of business bank statements.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the start. Now, we do ask for things more. Just depends. Someone comes to us, we get 500,000 requests, 250,000 requests all the time, and we do fulfill those all the time, and that's where maybe financials or tax returns will come into play. But to start, 1-page application and 3 months of business bank statements.
That's very simple. Well, and I want to know too, and I think I already kind of know the answer, but I want to know, why should people work with you and what sets you apart?
Very easy, Josh. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I would say our biggest draw is the personable side of our business.
Yes.
We grew from a very small company, so we know how big that customer service is. So I would say the biggest thing for us would be our customer service. You're always going to talk to a live person. You're never going to get to a voicemail. We're all a team too, so any person you're talking to there has your best interest in mind and not the money side of it. They care about you. So I would say our customer service would be the biggest difference.
Yeah, if I can chime in on that. So it's mandatory, we answer every call. I'm a big service guy. When I pay for something or go into something, I expect high service. We provide high service. So that part, in my opinion, is kind of a lost niche. I'm experiencing it with other companies, the service, but our Google reviews speak for themselves.
Well, and client retention, right?
Very high.
With you guys.
Very high. We have multiple clients that we're 20, 25. I think we just hit our first client last month that we hit 30 loans with over a course of maybe 6 years. But retention is very high. We have a whole separate retention department that are dedicated to our existing clients, where we get really deep with their understanding of their need and their business. So we're also very educated on different industries: trucking, manufacturing, medical, cannabis. We know the struggles or the pros and cons or the opportunities that they come across, and we understand it.
Well, and I have to give you a testimonial too, because when I posted on Facebook that you guys were coming on the show, a client of mine, a friend of mine, was right away interested in funding, and I gave you the information, and I would say within an hour you are on the phone with her. So, and you're dealing with you directly. It's not, like you said, it's not some kind of sales rep somewhere in India or in a different country. I mean, it's all here. So I want to, say, I can give you a testimonial for that you are really on top of everything that you do. Tell us, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you, or what's the process if someone's interested in working with you? Do you think that they should go to the website? They should call you? What would you recommend?
That's a good question. Okay, so we recommend that they apply how they want to apply. Some people are busy. They might not have time to talk on the phone, and they can go to our website. They can start an inquiry, put their basic information. Once they hit submit, it auto-populates in our CRM, and they're immediately going to be responded with some automation technology. But right away, they're going to have a live person. We're big on live communication with account executive consultants, we call them. A lot of people out there still want to talk to a live person.
Oh my gosh, I just had a situation with a clothing company, and they took away their phone number. You can't call anymore. You can only do a chat with them, and it's impossible. It's really frustrating.
Yes, it's frustrating indeed. So we can do our website. You can call in. What else?
Email, chat on our website is also available.
Well, and you have that quick video process with questions, which is really nice if people want to do that online.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when you enter your information through our website, you're not actually applying. You're entering your contact information, cell number, email, basic information, industry, company name, and then right away we're going to reach out to you and have that detailed conversation to get to know you and your business and your desire, your need.
Well, we love it. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the show. We can't wait to have you on again. And you guys, if you have any questions, let us know. We'll get them answered for you. For more information on Clear Skies Capital and to meet with them for a consult, you can go to clearskiescapital.com. Don't touch that remote, because when we come back, it's our segment on Lonesome Rider Coffee. Welcome back to The Pulse. I'm your host, Cindy Mattalucci. This segment of The Pulse on the Scene was brought to you by Clear Skies Capital. You know how much we love coffee here at The Pulse, and we are picky about the coffee that we drink. One of our absolute favorite coffees is veteran-owned local business Lonesome Rider Coffee, who just opened a storefront in Parkway Plaza. We take you inside. Take a look. I'm at Parkway Plaza with Lonesome Rider Coffee for their first storefront. I'm with founder and owner Joseph Hale. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm so excited to be here with you today. I've seen your business flourish. I'm so excited about everything, but I want to talk to you because you have such an amazing story. So can we talk about the inspiration behind Lonesome Rider?
I'm a retired Marine. I served from 07 to 18, and within those times, I was deployed about 5 times. And a couple of times, I think in my 3rd, 4th deployment or so, I was in Afghan, and we didn't have a drop of coffee at all. So we started emailing everybody. I mean, everybody. And they would send back emails saying no, or we can't do it, or thanks for your service. But so when I got out, I'm like, well, I could do the same thing. I do the same thing as in most of the other coffee shops around. And next thing you know, I started Lonesome Rider as an online a coffee roaster, shipping bags all across the country and even into Canada. And then a couple years ago, and once COVID died down, we went mobile for in-person sales. And I keep on getting asked, it's like, hey Joe, do you guys have a store yet? I'm like, unfortunately, no, we don't. So then earlier this year, a couple months ago, we opened Lonesome Rider as the first storefront.
Well, and I want to talk about the coffee and the flavors, right? Because it's pretty amazing. So you bring coffee from Asia, from Africa, from all different places, right?
Yes.
Whiskey Barrel, which is aged 30 days.
Yeah.
That's one of the most popular ones.
Oh yeah. That's one of the most popular ones we got. So that one's actually comes from Guatemala. It's a Robusta, and we age it in a used white oak bourbon barrel for about 40 days. And the end result is fantastic. It's real mellow. It's real smooth. It's you can taste the char. You can taste the smoke from the barrels, and also a little bit of wood in the whiskey from the barrel as well.
Oh my goodness, and I love the cinnamon bun. And then I love that you give back too, right?
Oh, yeah,
so you have one for Breast Cancer Awareness Month where you're donating.
Yes.
And then also Homeless Not Toothless blend as well.
That one's a Sumatra only. And that one with Homeless Not Toothless, that's a great organization. They're out of Los Angeles, and they give free dental care to foster kids, domestic violence victims, homeless vets, first responders, and the list goes on. That's
amazing. I love that you give back because I think it's so important. And I think 25% of all sales from the Breast Cancer Awareness Coffee is going to happen this month.
So not just October, November, like how everyone else does breast cancer. We do it all year round.
Wow.
Because breast cancer is real close to us, for the company, to our family. My family had it. My wife's family is real big into it. They were affected pretty hard by breast cancer. So instead of just doing 1 month a year like everyone else, just to do it, we do it all year round.
Okay, so you were selling online, like you were saying.
Yes.
You were at farmers markets, and now you have your first storefront. And we're standing here right now. We're going to kind of take you inside. But let's talk about what people can expect here.
We have pretty much the same things as you would see at a Starbucks, a Dunkin', or any of the smaller coffee shops around in the local neighborhoods. But our coffee is ultra fresh. So the beans that we ground up for the espresso maker, for the drip coffees, they're all roasted within 3 to 5 days. So you'll probably never see that anywhere in any local coffee shops around, unless they have a roaster on site. And you never see it in the big chains.
So it's the freshest coffee you can get. We love that. And I can attest to that because we have it at home. We love it. So let's talk about your fall menu, because you've got a great menu and you've got treats too, food, jerky. Let's talk about what you're offering.
So each season we're going to come out with a specialized, 2 or 3 different lattes or different drinks. For the fall, since you just opened in September, it's perfect time for fall season. So we got the pumpkin pie latte, which is actually made and blended with real pumpkins, instead of just the seasoning. So that one is real rich, real creamy. You get the real nice fall taste of that one. We got a cinnamon bun latte, which is actually one of the best sellers we have right now. That one's real decadent in the creams, the flavoring for the cinnamon bun. Yeah, it's almost like you're drinking, a cinnamon, from a bakery. It's beautiful. And then lastly, we got a maple cream, which is 100% real Canadian maple syrup as well.
And you can get a cinnamon bun too here, right?
Yes.
You can have a cinnamon latte with a cinnamon.
There you go.
And then what about the brisket, the jerky?
So we started actually doing brisket jerkies. So right now we got 4 different flavors. We got the teriyaki, which is real sticky, real sweet, but it's still that savory taste of the jerky. We use the prime cuts from brisket instead of just the regular scrap or the loins from everyone else. But also flavors, we got a whiskey barrel one, which it's just like the whiskey barrel coffee. You can taste the whiskey in it. You taste the barbecue in it, the smoke. We got a carne asada one. My daughter absolutely loves that one for sure. So that one, it's like eating a taco almost, like carne asada.
That's amazing. And so how does it feel to be in Parkway Plaza? Because you just had your ribbon cutting, right?
Yeah,
so
last week,
and then it's been 50 years that, Parkway Plaza's been around. They're celebrating.
I know.
So how does it feel to be here?
It feels great. So this is, like I said, our first quote unquote brick and mortar that we ever opened. So I'm ecstatic for that. We're getting great reviews from the businesses inside of the mall, from the patrons, from the people walking around, a local community. They all need a coffee shop in the mall since COVID took a lot of businesses away, and that being the Starbucks that was here previously. And right now, my coffee shop is the only coffee shop in the entire area.
Wow.
So that's huge.
Well, and it's premier shopping down here in El Cajon. They have over 150 stores. They've got the cinema, Regal Cinemas, so you definitely have to come down here. So the best way for people to try your coffee would be to come in, right?
Yes.
And what are your hours?
We open at 9:30 in the morning, all the way to 8 p.m. Then on Sunday, from 10:30 to 6 p.m.
Perfect, and that's on Fletcher Parkway, you guys, so come down. And then also you have a subscription online.
Yes, so we have a subscription service. It's a monthly service, or it's 3 times a year. You pick the duration, but you pick any coffee online, get it delivered to your door, fresh of course.
We love it. And LoneStarMriderCoffee.com. Check it out. Come down to Parkway Plaza. We're so excited. And will you make me a coffee?
Sure will.
Okay, I'm gonna go try the coffee. We'll see you. For more information on Lonesome Rider Coffee, you can go to LonesomeRiderCoffee.com, or better yet, stop by in person and get some coffee at Parkway Plaza in El Cajon. For more of these stories, head over to our website, thepulsesd.com, and make sure you're following us on social media for all the behind-the-scenes fun at The Pulse SD. That's going to do it for today's episode. We'll see you next time when we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego.